such a beautiful morning. I love fall, so I hope everybody's enjoying it. And we have snacks, so if you haven't gotten your apple yet, please, thank you, Rhonda, for bringing those. That's awesome. So thank you for providing your attention over the next 5 minutes and also over the next few weeks as we begin our stewardship campaign. And the title or theme is Growing in Christ for Our Community. You'll hear about the campaign starting today and then moving for the next couple weeks through what are called temple talks. We haven't done this in a while, so it's going to be very interesting. Today's focus will be a little bit different than next week's focus. We'll have both Rick and John talking about the financial and the stewardship side of things, and then we'll bring it together with Joan being so kind to kind of wrap it up and give direction. But you'll also receive the letter, I'm sure, from Pastor and I this week. If you haven't had a chance to open up that envelope, please do so. And then today, in your bulletin, please take a look. This is extremely helpful in sort of setting the stage for what will take place over the course of the next couple weeks. And it gives you an outline of what it actually entails to run a church, and it gives you the breakdown. So this is very helpful. So first and foremost, big thank you for your current and future offerings. It's an investment, and your gifts are so important. Everybody involved that's working within the ministries and the church are most appreciative and mindful of how these resources are utilized. It's really important to understand that. You know, we get a lot of questions and a lot of feedback. Really, truly, I've not seen anybody that goes, let's just blow some money and spend it on things that are not necessary, not only for our community, but for the community around us. It's clear in the Bible that Jesus tells us to feed the hungry, comfort the grieving, care for the widow, and provide and care for the orphan. Stewardship comes in many forms, and I assure you, and you see it every week, Trinity's alive with ministry and with stewardship. Just to name a few, and I could spend an awful lot of time talking about this because it really is a passion, but we do a lot of things here, and I wish I could stand and recognize all the folks that participate, but I think I would bore you to tears. We have folks with a huge passion for passing along faith to our children. This is witnessed in so many ways. Our ministry and Christian education that goes on in the morning. We have our Vacation Bible School, and we also have Pastor's children's message. And I kind of laugh because I don't know if it's just simplified for my brain. I appreciate Pastor's message, or if it's the children's response to the message that I appreciate, or if it's Pastor's response to the children, or our response every Sunday. It's awesome, and it's really fulfilling. We have many that have the gift of music, led by Karen and Jess, and I really appreciate all the folks that share their talent, because I certainly don't have that talent, so I marvel when folks do. Others are gifted with bringing the non-Christians His Word, sometimes for the first time, or to encourage folks back to our church or to a church. And an interesting statistic that I read as I Googled in preparation, this year alone, there have been over $17 million spent on Bibles. So people are hungry for the Word, and that's 22% over 2024, which also had an increase. So just interesting as we face the current dynamics that are out there. So that's very positive. An example that we had just a few weeks ago was the open house. And if you think about it, we had over 1,000 cookies made, which an Italian is really fed by the food that's present in an event. But those cookies were donated, and every single ministry that we have in the church participated. That's pretty impressive. And those cookies were not only for the open house, but they went on to be shared at other events that we had within the church. Awesome. So as we financially give, we support this work. Not all of us are called to be teachers, but offerings support the teaching and the passing along of our faith to our children. Not all of us have the gift to comfort the sick and the grieving, but our financial gifts provide for outstanding pastoral care. Not all of us have the time to go out and feed the hungry, but we can give significantly to make sure that the hungry are fed. We have our media team, which is relatively new, but we get a lot of compliments about how that's run and the evolution of what's being done. And that's Jessica and the team, and we've had some terrific ideas just with some new blood who have joined the ministry team. Our church, our building, is used by so many organizations. And I don't know if everybody's aware of how many organizations we support, but it's wonderful. All of this comes with additional expense, utilities, maintenance, repair, renovation. Things are expensive. We all know that. We all run our households, and a church is no different. I'm grateful for this home. We started sitting right there about almost, 8.5 years ago, something like that. Getting involved in activities, getting to know so many of you, working with council, it's been a blessing. But the truth be told, I had no idea what went into running a ministry, let alone what all is entailed in running a church. And that is just a testimony to what Pastor and the team here bring. As you know, Jim and I are now on a fixed income because we've retired. And I say that with a smile, and I can't say it enough this year because we waited for it for a long time. And we have had discussions about our current commitment and support of the church and where we are in that fixed income. We have financial obligations like everyone. We have 8 children. We're through the education phase. They're having beautiful grandchildren, which we have 6. And we tend to spoil and probably do more than we're supposed to at this point, but we do. We have a blended family, and there are a lot of dynamics there, and we love it. But there are expenses, there are utilities, there's food, there are pets, and of course, there are toys, Jim's toys, tools, for which we tend to focus on. But when Pastor and the stewardship team started to talk about what we need to do to go forward into 2026, I, of course, grabbed Jim's ear and said, we need to talk about this, and we need to think about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And it was a tough conversation. He was looking at his phone. The next day, he said, I did hear you, and we'll talk about it. And then we prayed about it, and we talked about it, we prayed about it. And we can and we will do more. When we financially support our ministry here, the gifts make possible in many ways to engage in the community. Even if you're not personally involved in a particular ministry, and I encourage you to do so, shameless plug, you make those ministries possible, really empowering what we're able to do. As we give, no gift is too small, and no gift, of course, is too large. Thank you for your prayerful consideration. We look forward to a successful campaign. Thanks for your time.